You've been lied to your entire life. Every time a self-help guru tells you that waking up at 5 a.m. is the ultimate secret of billionaires. Every time society labels you as lazy, unproductive, or undisciplined, just because you hit your peak focus at midnight. But what if your late-night energy isn't a flaw? What if it's not a bad habit you need to fix with melatonin and sheer willpower? What if you are actually carrying a rare, ancient genetic superpower? A biological hardwiring that literally kept the human race from going extinct. Today, we are dismantling the myth of the early bird. We are going to look at the hard science, the evolutionary biology, and a groundbreaking anthropological study that proves why society is dead wrong about you. If you are a night owl, you're not broken. You were built for a purpose. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why ancient human tribes desperately needed you to survive. Close your eyes and imagine it is 10,000 years ago. You are a member of an early human hunter-gatherer tribe. The sun dips below the horizon, and the world plunges into an absolute, suffocating darkness. There are no streetlights, no locked doors, no emergency services. Out there in the pitch black, the environment is completely unforgiving. Saber-toothed cats, dire wolves, and rival, hostile tribes are actively roaming the landscape. To survive, you and your tribe need to sleep. Sleep is a biological non-negotiable. But here is the brutal evolutionary catch. Sleep is also the most dangerous thing an animal can do. When you sleep, you are unconscious. You are paralyzed. You are completely defenseless. If the entire tribe of 30 or 40 people goes to sleep at the exact same time, you are effectively a free all-you-can-eat buffet for any predator that wanders into your camp. So, how did our ancestors survive the night without being slaughtered? They couldn't just assign shifts like modern security guards. They didn't have clocks. They didn't have alarms. If a guard fell asleep from sheer exhaustion, the whole tribe could be wiped out. Nature needed a foolproof, hardwired system to ensure someone was always awake, always alert, and always watching the tree line. Nature needed a biological alarm system. And that is exactly what it built. Enter a concept known in evolutionary biology as the Sentinel Hypothesis. In 1995, a researcher named Frederick Snyder proposed a wild idea. What if humans evolved to have different internal biological clocks, what scientists call chronotypes, specifically so we wouldn't all sleep at the same time? If some people were naturally programmed to feel exhausted at 8 p.m. and wake up at 4 a.m., the early birds, and others were naturally programmed to stay wide awake until 3 a.m. and sleep until noon, the night owls, the tribe would constantly have a rotation of conscious, alert members. No alarms needed, just pure genetics. For a long time, this was just a theory. But then, scientists found the ultimate proof. In 2017, a team of anthropologists led by Dr. David Sampson traveled to northern Tanzania to study the Hadza people. The Hadza are one of the last remaining traditional hunter-gatherer tribes on the planet. They live almost exactly as our ancestors did Pleistocene epoch. No electricity, no artificial light. The researchers gave the tribe members actigraphs, essentially scientific smartwatches, to track their sleep patterns over 20 days. What they found completely shattered everything we thought we knew about human sleep. Over those 20 days, encompassing hundreds of hours of sleep across the tribe, do you know how many minutes the entire tribe was asleep at the exact same time? 18 minutes. Out of 20 entire days, there were only 18 total minutes where everyone was unconscious. At any given moment, night or day, at least one person, usually multiple, was awake, alert, and moving around. And it wasn't because they were forcing themselves to stay awake, it was simply because their chronotypes were incredibly diverse. The older generation tended to wake up before dawn, while the younger adults, the night owls, stayed up tending the fire, talking, and keeping watch late into the night. The researchers concluded that this asynchronous sleeping pattern wasn't a coincidence. It was a highly evolved survival mechanism. The night owls were the sentinels, the guardians of the dark. So, if being a night owl is a literal evolutionary superpower that kept humanity alive, why does it feel like a curse today? Why does the modern world punish you for a trait that is written into your DNA? The answer doesn't have anything to do with biology. It has to do with a machine invented about 300 years ago, a machine that forced humanity to betray its own nature. And that is where the real tragedy of the night owl begins. For 300,000 years, humanity operated purely on biological time. The sun dictated our days, and our internal chronotypes dictated our shifts. But in the late 18th century, everything changed. We didn't evolve, we industrialized. When the Industrial Revolution hit, the machine became the new god. And the machine doesn't care if you are a hunter, a gatherer, an early bird, or a night owl sentinel. The machine only cares that the cogs turn simultaneously. To maximize profit and efficiency, factory owners needed every single worker on the assembly floor at the exact same time. The concept of the 9-to-5 workday was born. Suddenly, the night owl wasn't a guardian anymore. If you couldn't wake up at 5 a.m. for the factory whistle, you were labeled lazy, unproductive, a drag on the economy. Society began to moralize sleep. You've heard the quote, "Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise." That wasn't just a catchy phrase, it was the ultimate PR campaign against our natural biology. And then came Thomas Edison and the widespread use of the incandescent light bulb. We finally conquered the dark, but we didn't liberate the night owls. Instead, corporations used artificial light to extend working hours late into the night, while still demanding that early morning start time. Schools adopted the exact same factory model, forcing teenagers who are biologically wired to have delayed sleep cycles during adolescence to be at their desks by 7:30 a.m. We forced the sentinels of the night to live as daywalkers. And it is destroying them. Scientists have a term for what night owls experience in the modern world. It's called social jet lag. Imagine flying from New York to London, shifting your time zone by 5 hours every single weekend, forever. That is the exact physical and mental toll the standard 9-to-5 schedule takes on a late chronotype. Your DNA is screaming that it is 3 a.m. and you should be resting, but your alarm clock is demanding that you get up, commute in traffic, and perform a corporate presentation. This isn't just exhausting, it is physically damaging. Modern studies show that night owls who are forced into early bird schedules suffer from significantly higher rates of cardiovascular disease, clinical depression, and metabolic disorders. It's not because being a night owl is inherently unhealthy, it's because living in constant, agonizing defiance of your own genetic code is slowly breaking your body down. Let's bring it all back. Society tells you that waking up at 5 a.m. is the only path to success. The billionaires, the hustle culture influencers, the endless stream of self-help books, they all worship the dawn. They want you to feel guilty for hitting snooze. They want you to think you are broken. But now you know the truth. You are not a defective early bird. You are a perfectly functioning night owl. You possess an ancient, hardwired trait that literally kept the human race from being wiped off the map. Your ancestors relied on people exactly like you to keep the fires burning, to watch the shadows, and to protect the tribe when they were most vulnerable. So the next time a self-proclaimed guru calls you lazy for sleeping until 10 a.m. after you've been doing your best, deepest, most creative work until 3 in the morning, just smile. Remind them that if it weren't for your ancestors standing guard in the dark, their ancestors would have been eaten by a saber-toothed cat. If this video finally helped you understand your own brain and made you feel a little less crazy, hit that subscribe button. We explore the hidden science of human biology and psychology every single week, and you won't want to miss what's next. And before you go, I want to hear from my fellow Sentinels. Drop into the comments right now and tell me, if society didn't force an alarm clock on you, what are your actual natural sleeping hours? Let's see how many guardians of the night we have watching. Sleep well, owls. I'll see you in the next one.